Good morning everyone. In last video we have seen about introduction of D and F block elements. So now we will see about the continuation of that chapter. So I already told you D and F block elements are separated depends upon the last electron of each and every element enters into the orbital. So if last electron of any element enters into s orbital, then such type of elements are known as s block elements. Okay, if the same electron or the last electron enters into p orbital of any atom, then such type of elements are coming under p block. If the electron enters into d orbital or f orbital of an atom, then those are known as d block elements or f block elements. That means these four blocks are divided for the elements only depends upon the last electron entering. Okay, if it enters into the either of the one orbital, they belongs to either of this block of elements. Okay, now in this chapter we want to study about D and F block elements. So we know, first we will see about this D block elements. This D block elements are known as transition elements. Okay, when we can say an element as transition, if at least it is containing one unpaired electron, then we can say it is a transition elements. Remember, all transition elements are D block, but all D block elements are not transition elements, because few of the D block elements are completely filled in their electronic configuration. Then whatever the element which is with the complete configuration is not considered as transition element. The D block element which is with at least one unpaired electron in its d orbital, then such type of elements are known as transition elements. Okay, that is why we can say all transition elements are D block elements, but all D block elements are not transition element. As like that, even F block elements are known as inner transition elements. Inner transition elements. Okay, even they are containing the properties which are almost similar to D block elements, so that we can also call them as inner transition elements. Now firstly we will discuss about the properties of D block elements. Okay, in yesterday's class I have explained you that D block elements are categorized into different series. So because from third energy level we can see the presence of d orbital, whereas first and second series do not contain d orbital. It starts with only third energy level. So based on the energy level of the d orbital, they have categorized these d block elements into four types, that is 3d, 4d, 5d and 6d series. Okay, 3d series, 4d series, 5d series and 6d series elements. So especially in this chapter in your syllabus you have only about this 3D series elements. Okay, as we know 3D series elements are also known as first series, because with this energy level only the D block elements are starting, so that we can also call them as first series, and 4D series as second series, 5D series third series and 6D series are known as last series, that is fourth series. This 60 groups or 60 series elements are said to be incomplete. Still there is place to few elements in this 6D series, so that we can also call them as incomplete series. Fourth series elements of D block are considering as incomplete series. Now we want to see about the general representation of all these D block elements, whether it is first series or fourth series. They are showing same type of general formula, that is NS. Okay, before d orbital there will be presence of s and p orbital. First the electron enters into s orbital. What is the capacity of s orbital? It can able to fill only 2 electrons. Some elements are containing 1 electron in its s orbital and some other elements are containing 2 electrons. So it should be represented as ns1 to 2. They may contain 1 electron or 2 electrons. Okay, so their configuration in s orbital is ns1 to 2. Next, n minus 1d. Okay, why here we want to use minus 1? Because after s orbital only we can see the lower level d orbital, so that it should be with minus 1. Okay, ns, if suppose n is 4 in this case, Then what will be the d orbital? 4 minus 1, that is 3. So s orbital is in 4th energy level and d orbital is in 3rd energy level. Okay, it is penultimate shell. So which comes before the 4th energy level s orbital, so that it should be indicated by n minus 1. Okay, we know the capacity of d orbital. So this d orbital is having the property to fill totally 10 electrons because 5 subshells are present. If you see d orbitals, okay, so they are containing totally 5 subshells. So these 5 subshells are known as dx, dxy, dyz, dzx, next dx square y square, and finally dz square. So these are the 5 different suborbitals present in d orbital. Okay, dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square y square, and finally dz square. If you see, each and every suborbital is having the property to fill totally 2 electrons. Such kind of suborbital totally 5 are there, 5 into 2, 10 electrons. So capacity of d orbital to fill totally 10 electrons. But there is no rule that all the d block elements should contain 10 electrons in its d orbital. So sometimes it may contain 1 electron and few other elements are containing 2 electrons and some other elements may contain 3 till 10 electrons. So this d orbital configuration ranging between 1 to 10. Okay, so then it will be its general outermost configuration. Remember, this is most important for 1 mark. What is the general configuration of d block elements? So d block elements general configuration is ns 1 to 2, n minus 1, d 1 to 10. Whereas general configuration of transition elements is different from d block elements. What are transition elements? The elements which are containing at least one unpaired electron, okay, in its d orbital, then those are known as transition elements. So their configuration changes as ns 1 to 2, n minus 1, d 1 to 9. There should be no 10 electrons. If 10 electrons are present in the orbital, all the electrons are got paired up, so that it should end with only 9 electrons. So that is the general representation or configuration of transition elements. Okay, don't confuse between these two. Either of the question will be asked for 1 mark. So d block elements configuration is ns 1 to 2, n minus 1, d 1 to 10. Whereas for transition elements, ns 1 to 2, n minus 1, d 1 to 9. It should end only with the 9 electrons. If it contains 10 electrons in its d orbital, that is not transition element, that is just a d block element. And we have one more definition for this transition elements. If you see in the periodic table, d block elements are kept between s and p orbitals. They are arranged in between s and p orbitals, so that they are also known as transition elements, because they are having the properties which are intermediate in between s and p orbitals. They completely do not show s orbital properties, or they completely do not show this p orbital properties. In between the properties can be shown by this d block elements. That is why they are given with the word transition. Okay, so that they are known as transition elements. One more definition, that d block elements are present or arranged in the periodic table in between s and p orbital, so that we can say or we can call them as transition elements. So now we will see about the general properties of d block elements. First we will see about general physical properties of all d block elements. So almost all transition elements are typical metallic properties. They are containing typical metallic properties, such as first one, they are containing high tensile strength. And next, they are containing ductility property. That means they can conduct electricity as well as heat. They can pass easily electricity and heat. So this is due to containing unpaired electrons in its d orbital. Next one, they are containing malleability property. Next, they will contain this thermal and electrical conductivity. Thermal and electrical conductivity property. Next, and even they are containing metallic luster property. What is meant by luster? So that is nothing but the property to shine. Okay, once you cut these D block elements, so that edge can shine. So that property is known as luster property. So these are containing metallic luster property, and they can conduct electricity as well as the thermal, that is nothing but heat. So malleability means they can bend easily. Okay, they can bend easily. And ductility property can also indicates that they can be arranged as a thin layers. Okay, all these properties are mainly due to containing unpaired electrons in its d orbital. So all these are the general physical properties of d block elements. Now we will see another important property shown by the d block elements, which is known as oxidation states. Okay, so when they can show this oxidation states means it depends on the losing of electrons by the element. So sometimes if they want to participate in a reaction, either they want to lose the electron or they want to gain the electrons. So in order to lose the electron or gaining electron, they can show different types of oxidation states. Okay, so these d block elements are having the property to show variable oxidation states. That means different types of oxidation states. Okay, so that we'll see now. So each and every element can show different types of oxidation state, and among all the oxidation states shown by them, they can be able to stable only in one type of oxidation state. Even that we'll see now. Okay, so the first element of the first series of d block element is scandium. So if you see the atomic number of scandium, it is 4s2 3d1 for scandium. So for example, I am writing here. So by losing 3 electrons, that is 2 from the s orbital and 1 from the d orbital, so it becomes +3 oxidation state. Why it is getting positive charge? Because it is losing electron. We know all such electrons are containing only negative charges. So due to losing 3 negative charges, 3 positive charges can be formed on scandium. Then scandium can show +3 oxidation state. So scandium is highly stable only in the +3 oxidation state when they lose 3 electrons from its s orbital and d orbital. Then the stable oxidation state of scandium is said to be +3. Scandium can show only one type of oxidation state. Now move on to the second element, that is titanium. So if you see titanium atomic number we know, I'll write here, that is 4s2 3d2. Okay, 2 electrons in s orbital, 2 electrons in d orbital. If it loses only 2 electrons from d orbital, it is losing electrons only from the d orbital, then it gets only +2 oxidation state, then it can show +2 oxidation state. Okay, sometimes even it may also ready to lose 3 electrons, that is 2 from the d orbital, 1 from the s orbital. So then it can show +3 oxidation state. Okay, and even it is ready to lose all the 4 electrons. Total number of electrons in its outermost shell is said to be 4. That is 2 from the s orbital, 2 from the d orbital. If all the 4 electrons are lost by the titanium, then titanium can show +4 oxidation state. Okay, that means among the 3 types of oxidation states shown by the titanium, +4 oxidation state is said to be the stable oxidation state. Okay, then move on to the next element, that is vanadium. So vanadium configuration is 4s2 3d3. 4s2 3d3. If it loses only 2 electrons from the d orbital, it shows +2. If it loses 3 electrons from the d orbital, it can show +3. Along with the d orbital, if it loses one more extra electron from the s orbital, it can show +4 oxidation state. Okay, if all the 5 electrons are lost, that is 2 from the s orbital, 3 from the d orbital, it can show the more stable oxidation state, that is +5. Okay, this is the more stable oxidation state of vanadium. Now move on to the next one, chromium. Chromium configuration is little different compared to others, that is 4s1 3d5. The reason behind this I have explained in yesterday's class. To attain the more stability, it tries to exist in half-filled configuration. That is why only one electron is present in s orbital, 5 electrons present in d orbital. If it loses one electron, if it loses 2 electrons from the d orbital, just imagine from 5, here it is losing 2 electrons, then it can show +2 oxidation state. Okay, and sometimes it may also loses 3 electrons from the d orbital, then can show stable oxidation state, that is +3. If it loses 4 electrons, +4. If it loses 5 electrons from the d orbital, it shows +5. And when it will show +6 oxidation state, total electrons, that is 1 electron from s orbital, 5 electrons from the d orbitals are lost by the chromium, then it can show +6 oxidation state. For chromium, among all, the stable oxidation states are just +3 and +6. Okay, so it can able to form a compound either by using +3 oxidation state or +6 oxidation state. Now move on to the next element, manganese. So manganese electronic configuration is 4s2 3d5. Okay, so this manganese is having the property to show even +1 oxidation state by losing only 1 electron, and it shows +2 by losing 2 electrons. This +2 oxidation state is very stable for manganese. Okay, these 2 electrons are lost from the s orbital, and even it tries to show +3, +4, +5, +6 and even +7. So the only element in this first series which can show the highest oxidation state as +7 is nothing but manganese. So because it is containing totally 7 electrons in its outermost shell, 2 in s orbital, 5 in d orbital, so that it can show +7 oxidation state. Remember, this is the most important bit for 1 mark. Which element in the first series or 3D series of d block elements can show maximum number of oxidation state? That is manganese. Which can show highest oxidation state? Even that is manganese only. Highest oxidation state is +7. Maximum number of oxidation states are ranging from +1 to +7. Okay, for both the questions answer is only manganese. Okay, next element is iron. Iron electronic configuration is 4s2 3d6. Okay. It loses, by losing 2 electrons from the s orbital, it can show +2 oxidation state. By losing 3 electrons, 2 from the s orbital, 1 from the d orbital, it shows +3. Even it shows +4 and +6. It will not show +5. It shows +4 and +6. Among the 4 oxidation states shown by it, +2 and +3 is more stable for iron. Now move on to the next one, that is cobalt. Cobalt can also show +2, +3 by losing 2 electrons and 3 electrons. Along with that, even it can exist in +4. Among the 3, +2 and +3 are said to be the stable oxidation states of cobalt. Its configuration 4s2 3d7. Next element is nickel. Its configuration 4s2 3d8. Okay, by losing 2 electrons from s orbital, it can show +2. By losing 3 electrons in some cases, it shows +3, and by losing 4 electrons, it can show +4. Among the all, nickel is highly stable in only +2 oxidation state, because most of the compounds are formed by losing only 2 electrons. Next, copper. Copper electronic configuration is also little different as like chromium. Even it can show 4s1 3d10 configuration to attain high stability in complete configuration. Okay, with this configuration, it can show 2 types of only oxidation states, that is +1 and +2. Now copper is highly stable in its +2 oxidation states. Move on to the final element, that is zinc. This zinc can show 4s2 3d10 configuration. It can able to show only one type of oxidation state by losing 2 electrons from the s orbital. Why it is not losing electrons from the d orbital? Only the reason that is it is stable in its complete configuration. In its 3d10 configuration, all the electrons are got paired up. Okay, to break that pairing, it requires more amount of energy, so that it will not ready to lose the electron. It loses only 2 electrons from the s orbital and shows +2 oxidation state. Okay, so that means zinc is highly stable only in the +2 oxidation states. This is the table which you can see and find out what are the oxidation states of shown by the elements of this 3D series. In this, whatever I have represented with the red color, that all that oxidation states are the stable oxidation states of the each and every element. Okay, few elements can show only one type of oxidation states, few elements can show more number of oxidation state. So due to having the property to show different types of oxidation state, they are also known to have variable oxidation states. Okay, this is most important general property of d block elements.